This is Minister Edom, and I'm coming back at you once again. And I wanted to share this topic on Hollywood. And this article is by Carolina Marino and Riley Author. And I'll put this article in the description box. It's from last year, February 23rd. Let's see, actually, it's from February the 27th, 2016, but it was updated February the 23rd of this year. And it's a really good article. I'll leave the article in the description box so you can look at it for yourself. But, like I've said before, when it boils down to it, I really don't care too much about what goes on in Hollywood. I don't really believe that that's a platform for us so-called black people and even so-called Latino people. You're going to get taken advantage while you're there. So going into something like that, the rituals, the things that you have to do to stay relevant in Hollywood. So, this article doesn't surprise me one bit. It says 25 times white actors played people of color and no one really gave a shit. And the reason why I'm talking about this because, in fictional movies, white people seem to have a problem with black actors playing fictional movies. We're talking about Star Wars, Marvel Comics, DC Comics, stuff that's in the land of make-believe. And they actually have a problem with it. Going back to, what's the series called? The Mockingbird series. That they had a problem with that and so forth. And so it's kind of funny because when the role is switched, nobody says anything. When they actually play Latino and African American roles, everybody's quiet. Nobody says anything. But we can't even play a fictional role without there being a problem. And as the article, as I go on to read this thing, it says, "Think blackface and yellowface are a thing of the past," which nobody's really yellow. That's semantics right there and wordplay by the white media. Get ready to cringe. As it wasn't enough, the Hollywood lacks seriously diversity behind and in front of the camera. The industry also has a nasty, not so little habit of giving diverse roles to white actors. That while on average of 75.2% of speaking roles already go to white actors, according to the 2014 University of Southern California study, Inequality in 700 Popular Films, some of those parts are actually characters of color. Over time, we have come to expect a tsunami-sized wave of backlash when an actor of color is cast as a fictional character that audiences feel should be white. See controversies over Michael B. Jordan as the Human Torch or Amandla Steinberg as Rue of the Hunger Games. But the outrage isn't quite the same when white actors portray characters of color, even when often they are based off real-life people of color. Think whitewashing. Blackface and yellowface are things of the past. Get ready to cringe. Here are 25 times white actors played people of color and no one really gave a shit. Angelina Jolie as Marianne Pearl. A film in Mighty Heart 2007 is based on the real-life ordeal of journalist Marianne Pearl after her husband, Daniel, a journalist for the Wall Street Journal, is kidnapped and later murdered by Pakistani militants. Character's background: Marianne Pearl was born in France, but she is of Afro-Cuban descent. She has natural curly hair and dark complexion. Actress background: Angelina Jolie has no African roots, none, zero. She is of mixed European descent. Her hair is not naturally curly. Her skin is naturally fair, and her eyes are actually blue-green. Behold above. Present-day blackface: Ben Affleck, Antonio J. Mendez. And I'm going to go through these kind of fast because I'm not going to read all of them. Joseph Fiennes as Michael Jackson. Mickey Rourke as Mr. Yonoshi. See, Mr. Yonoshi is a Hollywood hot tempered landlord who she consistently tries to avoid. And so, when this happens, this is okay. Juliet Binoche as Maria Segovia. As you can see who the real Maria Segovia is. And she recounts the true story of a 33 Chilean miners who were trapped underground for 69 days. Wow. The main cast of The Last Airbender is based off a Nickelodeon cartoon featuring tribes of characters of Asian and Native American descent and their journey to stop the Fire Nation from taking over their tribes. Lawrence Oliver as Othello. And we know who Othello is. Othello is a general in the Vietnamese army. He is also a Christian Moor, which means he is generally depicted with a dark complexion. Oliver has no African or Arab roots, which is why he wore a full-on blackface to betray the jealous Moor. That's right, he painted his skin several shades darker to play Othello. You got Natalie Wood as Maria of the West Side Story. Maria is a young sister of Bernardo, the leader of the Puerto Rican gang, the Sharks, so she's Puerto Rican. And let's see Natalie's background. She's not Puerto Rican or Latina. The actress was of Russian descent. And see, all this is okay. It's okay if they do that. Johnny Depp as Tonto. And we don't really have to even go into that. I know Tonto was a so-called Native American, a member of the Mohawk tribe. Katrina Hepburn as Jade. Again, Jade is meant to be a Chinese woman living in a small village in China. Elizabeth Taylor as Cleopatra. Cleopatra was Egypt's last independent pharaoh. She is widely believed to have been Macedonian descent, though many modern-day scientists insist also had African roots. Well, I really believe that Macedonians are what you call Edomites. So actually, this Cleopatra is actually portrayed well, because you got to understand, the Greeks took over Egypt, and they took on the Egyptian culture and called themselves pharaohs. So this is really accurate. Sturges as Jeffrey Ma. Character's background. The protagonist of the film, Ben Campbell, is actually based off a real-life mid-card counter and blackjack player, Jeffrey Ma. Ma is an American of Chinese descent. And in fact, most of the real-life blackjack team was of Asian descent, but were portrayed in the film by white actors. See what I'm talking about? Jennifer Connelly as Alicia Nash. Born Alicia Larde, is a MIT student or MIT student who would later become John's wife. The real Alicia was a El Salvadorian. John Wayne as Genghis Khan, and we know who Genghis Khan is. Russell Crowe as Noah, and the real actual Noah is a so-called black. I hate to bust your bubble, but it's the truth. And there's nothing European about Noah. Christian Bale as Moses. Moses is also a so-called African American who are Jews. That's another whitewashing. Jake Gyllenhaal as the Prince of Persia. Unsurprisingly, the Prince of Persia is meant to be Persian. Persian is actually what most people recognize as present-day Iran. See, nobody ever looks at this stuff. We can't even play a fictional role without getting backlash. Fisher Stevens as Ben Djibutia. I hope I pronounced that right. The actor's background: Fisher Stevens is not of Indian ancestry and an essentially domed brown face for the role. For comparison, pictured above is a real-life Nobel Peace Prize winning Indian scientist. Well, this guy is really an East Indian. Meryl Streep as Clara Delvey Truba. Character's background: Clara Delvey Truba is clairvoyant, and the wife of a rancher. Much like all the characters in the film book, she is Chilean. Marilyn Barlow as Zucchini. Wow. Zucchini is who becomes an interpreter of the U.S. Army. He is Japanese. Man, some names are really exotic. Yul Brynner as the King of Siam. Character's background: as the King of Siam, he is Southeast Asian descent. Paul Mooney and Luis Rayner as Chinese farmers. Unbelievable. Liam Neeson as Raul Ghul, Ra's al Ghul. Liam Neeson is just one of the many white actors to portray the character of the film. He is Irish, but Ra's al Ghul is one of the biggest long-standing villains in the Batman universe. He is said to have been born in Arabia and is considered to be Arab descent. Boris Karloff as Dr. Fu Manchu. Dr. Fu Manchu is a Chinese villain. The character is often viewed as a yellow peril incarnate who reflected Western fears of China. And the actor was the English actor Boris Karloff, is one of many white actors to portray the character. No actor of Asian descent was portrayed Dr. Fu Manchu. Carey Mulligan as Irene. 14 is based on a novel of the same name and centers around the skilled Hollywood stuntman and the getaway driver that runs into a trouble when she tries to help out her neighbor. Character's background: in the book, the stuntman's neighbor is actually Irina, a young Latino woman in her 20s. In the movie, in character was rewritten as Irene. Wow. And that's the end of it. It just gives you a quick history of how many times people of color character has been white. Why he even knows this? Like I said, a person of color descent, Latino descent, catch hell if they play a fictional role. And this is the devil's playground, and the devil is having a lot of fun. So, you blacks and Latinos going into this acting thing, first of all, I would tell you to avoid Hollywood at all costs. But if you don't, just prepare to make your money and just be content making your money, because the award ceremonies and all that, that's all them. That's for them. We have our own so-called ethnic awards. Quit looking in validation. Quit looking for validation in white America. And just be happy with the minority awards you get. Quit looking for a batter boy and pats on the back from them. Because in the long run, it's not going to turn out for your benefit. Trust me. It could cost you your soul. So with that being said, I'm out.